see her level damage. So I can.
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow. Vortex kick. Vortex kick. Bart's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Gotta be game.
Oh, wow, that's game.
Alright everyone, and welcome back to Wbel Season 2. Sadly, it's going to be the last video of this season because we're going to shotcast the grand finale between Crashmstr and Ram9. But before that, I have to present my fellow shotcasters of the day. So we have JB79.
I was excited to be here, especially with this the lineup that we have going tonight. Two fellow guildmates of mine, so like two children. I'd say I can't pick between them, you know, in terms of who's going to win. So we'll have to see what the chips lie at the end. But I'm definitely excited to watch it and glad to be here.
Feels like a conspiracy. Good. Chisei.
Hey there, Nero. Just want to echo that thought. I'm super excited to see just the two top people of this very long tournament going at it. You know, these are going to be best of the best matches, so I'm excited to see, especially in the best of 5, excited to see some exciting adaptations between fights.
And Itomanpr.
How's it going, everyone? Very excited to be here. Very excited to be part of these finals. Long journey we started back in May, I think. I'm very excited to see how it ends.
Yeah, pretty epic season. It's been a long one.
Yes. I mean, there were players that were maybe less serious, that really wanted to focus on fun, but I think that mostly, even though those who are saying that, oh yeah, I just did it for fun. No. When you pick A2 in your team, you're serious about this. So yeah, there was at least 6 to 8 really strong contenders in every single divisions. It's been really close for some divisions, and I wanted to talk a little bit to you guys about how you approach your roster and how it ended up in your division. So maybe GB first.
So personally, I did think that A2, there was a couple units, A2 and ELDS, that I looked at specifically that I wanted to stay away from, just because I felt like they were the most recent of the bunch and a couple of the most powerful that you could take. Of course, they had that additional cost kind of commensurate with that power, but I kind of wanted just to play with different units that I didn't kind of get to use, and those were units that I had used quite a bit to that point. So I picked units like Shadow Lynx and Howlet and Victora and, you know, some of these others, and I kind of stayed within the cold triangle, the ice, water, and earth, and put that as the theme of my team. So had some fun with it. I think I was pretty competitive. Unfortunately, couldn't take down Crash, but you know, I gave it my best shot.
Yeah, I saw you in the top 2, but in the end, yeah, your follower guildmate passed over you.
Yep. Those are the breaks sometimes.
As for you, Chisei.
Yeah, well, I kind of fall into that camp that you said earlier, which was I kind of wanted to really have fun for sure. So that's why I think my roster had 6 or 7 light units. Definitely not the smartest play, but with it being my favorite elements, I definitely had to go for that route. I had to have Hope because he's one of my favorite units, and then I had to have Light of Brilliance Lucio because he's also one of my favorites. So those were just the 2 must picks, and then aside from that, I went and built a whole glove team and axe team around Hope just to see what's vision cards synergized with them, and that was basically my roster. It was very Hope centric, but despite that, you know, I think I was able to have a couple strong teams here and there. I did make it to playoffs. Just to the first match in playoffs, but you know, I made it to playoffs.
Hey, you made it. That's what counts.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Especially, like I said, I got there while having fun, and that's what I was really looking to achieve with this tournament. So I'm glad to have accomplished it.
Yeah, I remember that it was really tough in the end because there was at least 4 to 5 possibilities at the end. Absolutely nothing was settled, and we were rooting for you to make it, and you made it just barely. You really needed all the stars to align, and it did.
Yep. Like I said, I'll take it.
As for you, Itaman?
Thinking back on my team, I recall that I went for a lot of nostalgia on my units. A lot of units that I used throughout my World of lifetime. Ziza, Zodali, obviously. It was a very fun trip to play these units again. A lot of these units are very status effect heavy, so there was a lot of RNG in these matches, so it was always fun to witness what could happen. My Caesar fight was one of the nominations for most memorable fights in the season, so I take that as a win that I was able to highlight Caesar. She was one of my favorite manual units back in the early days.
I can attest to that. He's always known for his Ziza.
I have a Church of Caesar title in the manual Discord PvP.
Before I forget, thank you, Itoman, for the reminder, because I needed to show the winner of the fight of the year, and I think that I'm sharing nothing with you. Alright, so the winner of the best fight of the season goes to Surf Techo and Ram9. Everyone, act surprised even if you knew it.
Shocking!
And we did just see them in the playoffs, but this is, of course, from the regular season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a match. I remember that specifically, this play that you've highlighted there in the picture being kind of the big turnaround in that one where it looked so strong for Ram9 up until that point.
Yeah, I think he had dodged almost every attack up until that point, and then after he got put to sleep, I think he probably took like 6,000, 7,000 damage right after. It was a huge turning point, and that fight was incredible. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely encourage to go and watch that one.
Dario has a couple of guaranteed hit moves, and because Ram9 was using a drain AP strategy, Dario had no more AP, so he switched for the status effects move, so because of that he got asleep twice.
You could say he was too good at dodging, so the AI went for the sleep.
Otherwise, just before we begin, last season it was only Chisei and I, but for the new shotcaster here, starting with GB, how did you find your shotcasting experience?
I enjoyed it this season. It was a fun ride up through the playoffs and into the finals here. So kind of casting my own league and my own games was, I had kind of in-depth knowledge on that I could share, at least, on my own experiences and some of the folks that I played against. So yeah, I think it went pretty well. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Yeah, it was always a highlight in my week for sure. And as for you, Itoman?
I'd say I hated it with a passion. It was definitely the highlight of my week. It was a lot of fun. It was something that I had really never envisioned to be doing something like this.
Same.
So I'm very grateful that you gave me this opportunity. You kind of poked me and pushed me into it. I learned a lot. I couldn't handle the recording myself due to some computer limitations.
Yeah, I made you edit the last video. How was the experience?
I learned a little bit about editing that, at least in terms of audio, I couldn't play too much editing visuals because of the same kind of limitations, but it was kind of fun. It was very exciting experience for me.
Enough chatting, and let's jump into the first series. And the last
Action.
one. The only series. The grand final.
The last one.
Amazing.
Oh, man.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Classic Ram9.
No intro.
No, it.
Alright, so fight number 1 between Ram9 and Crash. Unfortunately, we didn't have the intro for this one showing the units, so we'll have to do it with the city bar. So on Crashmstr's side, we got his epic team, so his best one, Alwyn, Lucia, Velis, and Yeshtola. On the Ram9 side, we are going to see Dialdo, Kelfe, and Surges.
No surprises here at all coming from Crashmstr. This is exactly what he's been running pretty much in every game here down the stretch, and you can't blame him. You got to stick with it until someone's able to prove that they can take it down. So that is the task that Ram has got here, and he's going with his Earth and Ice team. No surprises there. He's a cool triangle player. I haven't seen every game from Ram this season, but I don't recall, at least in the games that I've seen, him playing too much of Dialdo. I'm interested to see how he performs here. I actually think that he can do very well into Lucia there, because she just has the physical barrier. We'll have to see how that goes.
Let's check this out.
Have to fight so many enemies.
Starting off over here on Ram9's side. First fight of Grand Finals. So Dialdo getting his main buff online with, I believe that was Shell, which is going to help out quite a bit against both the Holly and Lucia and the Velis. And as JB pointed out in the beginning, the physical barrier from Holly and Lucia isn't going to be able to prevent any damage coming out from both the Kilfei and the Dialdo. So that will make her survivability much less. And that way, if they're able to burst her down early on before Velis even gets the chance to heal, that could be huge in terms of neutering a lot of Crashmstr's damage output. That being said, the haste just got applied to both the Velis and the Holly and Lucia, so they both can be very speedy in terms of being able to get their damage output quickly. So that's the main thing they're going to be looking for here is, just kind of the damage output on both sides, honestly. Seeing how much damage this Holly and Lucia is going to take. She does get the zombie TMR online, so she has that re-raise. So even if she goes down initially from both the Kilfei and the Dialdo, she could still have a chance to revive and get healed up by the Velis. So they're depending on the order that she takes the damage, because if Serges is the last one to hit, he might be able to kill her after the re-raise. Or it could just be the case that Kilfei can just one-shot her. So let's just get into the fight and see how that actually goes. Because I'm also haven't been talking much about the Y'shtola because I've always counted her out, but that's always been a problem on my end. She's always been able to put out some good damage. But the first hit coming out from the Holly and Lucia,
super well tanked even by the Surges. Alright, so it was a shell, so a nice tuning from Crashmstr. Nice, we got the Fairy Guard, so unit resist up on both Velis and Y'shtola. After that we're going to have Dialdo. And we got his LB, so he's going to increase his AoE resistance. It's such a small map and they took like forever to join. The LB is only hitting Y'shtola. Maybe it hit the Holly Lucia, but it was so low that we didn't see it. And next we're going to have the LB coming from Kilfei. It's going to remove re-raise. And they're both still aced. It was a big chunk of damage on both. Next we're going to have Y'shtola. Oh, she's going to be in offensive mode, so a Shadow Flare, decreasing the AoE resistance, doing just a little chip on that Surges, but really low damage on the others. Single targeted attack, enough to kill that Y'shtola, doing a few HP on that Holly Lucia. Next we got Holly Lucia, so Retaliation. What is she going to do? Sudden End, hitting them both. Again, Ram 9, what does this unit eat? Because they're taking so few damage. Alright, next we're going to have Velis, so as usual sustained with his small potency heal. It was enough to fully heal her. And a 4k coming from Dialdo and 2k heal back, he was already full. Alright, next we're going to have a Kilfei, Earth Staff, and one-shotting that Holly Lucia. We didn't see that all season long, and now it's already done. GB, what happened during this match?
Well, very early on there, Kilfei led off with her Limit Burst, which does re-raise removal as part of its upgrade. So that also lowers the magic resistance there as well onto her. So she was taking increased damage there as the fight went on. I am very interested to know about this build at some point if I can pick Ram's brain, because he was taking that damage incredibly well there.
This'll hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody had the secret sauce to beat that team this season. Nobody had this 1-2 combo to beat it, and then the Ram 9 just goes with Kilfei and it's enough.
Well, Velis is hanging on there really well. I don't want to count it out completely yet. It's looking close, but if he's able to take out the Kilfei, do some chip damage to the Dialdo, and heal himself to full, he could win on turns.
Yeah, sorry, Crash, it's my usual 8 on the Velis.
Okay, well, that was a lot more damage that time. So.
And the LSEI, so he's going to heal himself instead of finishing up that Kilfei, which would have been maybe the best option.
I think she also still has her Courage online from her LB. I don't think that's gotten popped yet, so I think, I do think it might be curtains for Crash, especially with that move.
Yeah, it was stacking up. Itoman, what were your thoughts about this fight?
Ram 9 definitely came with a winning formula to tackle Crashmstr's, what I like to call the bookworm team. He started out with Kilfei using a magic barrier. Dialdo, I believe he gets shell from his main buff. His main DPS units were very bulky in terms of magic damage. As JB79 mentioned, Chisei removed the re-raise early on and dropped even more the magic resistance on Halloween Lucia. At that point, even though you don't expect Chisei and Dialdo to be that damage heavy, they steamrolled. It took the units out fast enough that Veles could not heal them in time for Crashmstr's usual strategy to kick in and overpower his opponent.
That's really been the key the whole season is that, Crashmstr having one damage dealer and maybe kind of a lower cost damage dealer hasn't really been enough to get the damage out onto her. And here, not only Dialdo putting out respectable damage, but also Chisei really putting up big damage as the fight went on. So it ended up being too much. Like you said, Veles wasn't able to put out enough healing to keep the team up. We just haven't seen it this season. Very impressive win.
The thing is that Chisei has, I think, Spellblade and Dialdo has Red Mage, and both have magic resist, I think, in the kit. I saw the Chisei use the magic barrier too. From what I can see, it was an expected team coming from Crashmstr, and of course Ram9 was prepared for it.
You just took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I think Ram9 expected this team. No, I think Ram9 expected this team, and as he should, because this team has been putting in a lot of work for Crashmstr, and I think he tailored this team specifically to beat it, and it shows. So great first win from Ram9, and I'm excited to see what adjustments Crash makes for round 2.
Chisei, if you're Ram9, are you sticking with the same team?
Well, it's hard to say. I think he has so many options in his roster that he can afford to mix things up and trying to predict what Crash is going to bring to try and take this team down. I would probably mix things up a little bit and keep this team in the back pocket.
I really don't think that you can run the evade angle against anything that Crashmstr has, personally.
Yeah.
If he does go to that, I think that he'll drop the next match. He's got Sephiroth, he's got, a built-out 2P. I don't think Chunak is going to be able to deal with those units, personally.
If you're a Crash, are you sticking with the same team with adjustment, or are you switching both his other teams?
Personally, once again, I would say I would swap, because I think that while there could be some adjustments you can make to make the team better, I think just the innate, the shell and the magic res and everything that this team has built into it makes it really hard for a pure magic damage team to kind of overcome this one. So in the case that Ram9 would stick with this team, I think it would be really hard to justify sticking with the book team, unless you're really trying to mind game it out and really think that he's going to swap.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ram9 just mixes it up. I feel he's a very unpredictable player. I think they both change, is my gut feeling.
I like that. All right, let's check that out in the next video. All right, so match number 2 between Crashmstr and Ram9. We got a switch up on both. So Itomanpr, you were right.
All day.
On Ram9's team, we got Mont, A2, and Surges. On the Crashmstr side, we got 2P, Galzak, and Lisette. So we have the A2 and 2P confrontation, which were the two units that I was expecting the most for the selection in this season.
Yeah, so absolutely right there on Itoman. From both players decided to switch it up. I think honestly, it's a good move for both sides. I was a little bit worried Ram might go for his evade angle, and I didn't like that play, but he just opts to go for his A2 mods team. Again, going for the Earth and Ice angle there. I think that on paper, it looks to fare pretty well against this strike team. Not only is the tank hard countering Lisette over there, but all three units have or at least Mont and Surges have very strong defenses. Mont actually can get very high strike resistance. So I wonder if he was calling this play here that he might switch it over to the 2P team and kind of has this team built to handle it. We'll have to kind of see how it plays out.
All right, let's check that out.
All right, so getting into round 2. Like I said, I do like the swap up on both sides. It is really interesting, especially because I know A2 can be incredibly accurate if built that way. And so I'm kind of wondering over here on Crashmstr's side if he's going full evasion and just completely hoping that 2P can really just evade all the attacks coming out from their Ram9 side, or if he's going kind of more just straight, fist VCs and hoping to outbulk and with a little bit of evade on the side. That's going to be the main thing that I'm going to be looking out for here, is how accurate Ram9's units are and how evasive Crashmstr's side is.
Is that all?
Looking to see if there's any TMR buffs or anything that might point towards that coming out from either side. I might have missed one, but I haven't seen one so far besides the usuals. See, 2P's now hasted up, has her main buffs online, and A2 now also has hers. They are starting on opposite corners of the map, so they are able to get plenty of buffs online on both sides here. Lisette's going more towards the center, so she actually is looking to... I don't wonder if she has any sort of... I missed to see if she only moved 2 there. I wonder if she has the bow tie on, but because they seem to be funneling a little bit more towards the center, and I'm kind of wondering to see what's going to happen, because it looks like the 2P here is going to get the first hit, and oh my goodness!
And first damage, we got 2P on both unit, and nearly killing that Surgis with that 2P. Demon tanked it pretty well though, and we got Galzak. Is he staying in the back? Oh yes, he's staying in the back with the Ashen Seal. And we got a reflex, that's good for Crashmstr. Reflexing the A2, and we got the counter. That's insulting. And evasion up on that 2P. Next, we're going to have Lisette. So shifting strike, and again, 10k on that Surges, so enough to kill him, of course. Next, we're going to have 2P again. Fuzzle Smash. Evasion up. Follow up. 2k on Mount. And then another 1k on A2. That's a lot. Alright. A big chunk of damage on both units, and finally Galzak nearly joining the fray, but at least they don't need it right now. We're going to have the LB coming from a month, so he's going to get a heal back, doing 6k on that Lisette. It's pretty big. And next we're going to have A2. Is there going to be a reflex? No, destructive spiral, killing that Lisette, doing not so much on that 2B. Alright, next we're going to have Galzak. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a re-raise, and he's staying still, doing nothing, probably casting a haste on himself. Next we're going to have a 2P. Can she kill the month at least? So a sleeper sweep, courage, nearly killing the A2. And finishing up that month before he could proc his heal back. Alright, so guard aced, it's what I thought. Next we're going to have A2. Is she able to kill that 2P? Scrapper Slash, no, only 3k about on that 2P. And Galzak now. And he's going for the Siren. Paralysis,
oh my goodness. Wow.
And next. Basic attack, and enough to kill the A2. Oh, but she had re-raise.
Don't break too quickly now.
Let's check that out. And accuracy up. Oh, it could be big though. And what is she going to do? Ren and Med, and killing the 2P. Oh no!
Wait!
It was looking so good for Crash. Does he have any skill up for the offensive? Oh no,
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
Oh no. Well, he's going again. It's probably a haste, but there's a chance.
No,
Oh,
not happening. Oh wow.
There goes the chance.
Yeah, so I was going to say there that it looked like that Crash was going to take that one there up until the re-raise came through, but I was going to say that reflex ended up being the key to the match there for that potential win, but the re-raise came through, the accuracy came up, and at that point the barrier was down for 2P, and she was much less tanky. That ended up being the difference.
I have to agree completely with what JB mentioned. I think it's worth mentioning also that it looked like Ram 9 was expecting this team. I'm not sure whose TMR it is, but I saw the Mont using a strike resistance TMR. I think it had strike, slash, and Man-Eater up. But then, even if he was expecting it, the damage that Crashmstr brought was I felt it was very big, almost soloing the team from Ram 9. Lisette only got one hit in, if I recall. Galzak was out in no man's land. I think he only got the Esper invocation as his contributing part in the match.
Oh, I'm totally blaming Galzak for that loss. He's been garbage.
But yeah, like JB mentioned, that reflex was big to give Crashmstr a fighting chance.
Yeah, I agree. I was pretty surprised at the damage that was coming out from 2P there. It was more than I expected, but I'm thinking that Ram did have to lean in probably to some accuracy there, and that may have sacrificed a little bit of the tankiness there.
Yep. She didn't miss once, except for the reflex.
Yeah. The reaction block was lacking.
Yes.
Galzak, if he had more of a role in that fight, even if we just got off one heal, I think the fight was just so close that I think it definitely could have gone in Crashmstr's favor. I think that even if Ram 9 prepared specifically for this team, I think that Crashmstr's team had a really, really strong chance there. And if just like I said, just a little bit of a different initial positioning or slightly buff rotation just to get Galzak a little bit more involved there, this could be a very formidable team for Crashmstr to just run back. If I was in his position, I probably would. I think this is a really, really good team to bring again.
Yeah, that's my take. I think if he runs the same team but with Galzak in the middle this time, it's going to be better. For you, GB, are you switching the teams on any of the sides?
Yeah, I don't know if Ram can bring this team again, just because if Crash goes back to the book team, this team is going to get potentially blown out. So I think that we are going to see more of that unpredictable nature from Ram, and maybe he'll go for evasion this time, and maybe that'll work against the 2P. We'll have to see.
I'm thinking they'll change it. I think they'll try something different this time.
Yeah, Ram's definitely in the driver's seat now with the 2-0 advantage, so he can afford to take a look maybe at his other team and see how it might do, even if he doesn't feel fully confident in it.
Yeah, just to shuffle thing and mix up Crash for the next fight. Alright, so let's check if Itoman's right again. Alright, so match number 3 between Ram 9 and Crashmstr. So now it's at 2-0 lead for Ram 9. So if he wins that one, he's the grand champion of the WBL Season 2. But on this side, we gotta switch up again. So Killfae, Veritas of the Water, and Surges really fearsome. And on Crash side, we got the same team. I expect him to change the initial placement of the Galzak.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch here, see what adjustments are made on that Galzak, because yeah, like we mentioned, he was completely out of the fight in the last game. Now over on Ram's side, he's going for the Devout Pierce comp here, but it's a little bit of an adjustment from the first match. Now we have the Veritas of the Water in there over Dialdo. I don't know if I like this pick, to be honest. I think that she's going to get absolutely blown away by this 2P if she gets hit. She is not physically tanky at all. She doesn't have that much unit resistance. So yeah, she can actually be accurate enough with some of her moves. So, maybe that's what he was hoping for, to kind of be able to potentially play against this team and the book team here. But I'm not sure about this combo here from Ram.
Let's check that out. For the first match, Ram 9 did Macrane, so let's see if it did it for the third match.
It's hard to doubt him at this point. I'm, being up 2-0, so we'll have to see if it works out for him.
Yeah, and like you said, he's in the driver's seat. He has the ability to kind of be a little bit more flexible and just kind of see what his units can do. So I don't blame him for being a little bit more experimental here and seeing how the Veritas of the Waters does, especially because this team has put in a lot of work also over the season. Yeah, this team has been one of his strongest ones. I don't remember seeing it really drop a game. So, and just the Devout Spear cards are just very, very good. That it just gives the team some innate just raw power that the units might be lacking themselves. Like, so Killfae is definitely an older unit, and Veritas of the Waters definitely has some deficiencies. Like I said, the Devout team itself is very strong. Looking over at Crashmstr's side, I'm not seeing the initial placement of the Galzak looks to be around the same. He's still over in that corner, not in the center. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he turned off the TMR buff would be one thing that I would guess. Because I know that there was one turn where he just stood still and used that, and that kept him very far away from the fight. I'd have to see what he does going here. It looks like he's charging up another haste. Meanwhile, it looks like for both Veritas of the Waters and the 2P are both hasted up. So, the Lisette moving backwards to buff the Galzak. That could be a bit of a problem, because it might take a while for her to get into the fight here. Whereas 2P is jumping straight in. Oh my goodness, trying to get that damage out right away.
Doing about 4k on that Killfae, but it's really not enough because all the other guys are in the back, so she's going to get ganged up. Alright, so we have the LB coming up from the Veritas of the Water. So let's check the level of damage. We got 8k on that 2P. She's nearly down, and Killfae is going next. Unfortunately, I don't think that the adjustment was right on the Crash side. Energy Blaster, and
oh wow,
my goodness.
And we got the Lightning Lizard against the Killfae and the rest. Not looking good for Crashmstr, and I think that Ram 9 will be crowned the grand champion of the WBL. Wow.
Yeah,
that one was fast.
Yeah, it would take a monstrous effort for Crashmstr to come back on this one. Like I said, I'm never going to count it out until it's actually over, but it's going to take a lot. I mean, there's the elemental advantage against the Veritas of the Water, so if she can one-shot the Veritas, that could be something, but she goes for the kill fade instead.
I'm expecting Galzak to carry this time.
How did that work out?
Not that one.
Carried himself right to the grave.
I chatted with Surf Taco before we do this, and what he said was, damn, Ram 9, he's too good.
Wow.
So the placement there worked out perfectly with the kill fade kind of cheating towards Crash's side, where the 2P dived in immediately right onto the kill fade, did very little damage. And at that point, that has been one of the problems with 2P, is because she dives away. If you have any kind of support or kind of team lagging behind, the team is just so disconnected to provide any follow-up or any support at that point. I found that as a challenge with that unit as well when I tried to use her this year. I was saying that I was not feeling good about Ram's chances there once I saw the lineups, but he proved me wrong. That Veritas of the Water absolutely manhandled the 2P with the limit burst there.
It seems to be a recurring theme that Ram 9 proves many of us wrong. He definitely has proven time and time again why he's one of the top players in this game. I remember the surprise back when the rosters were announced that he was the sole person bringing in Veritas of the Water. He definitely played her to great effect throughout the season. A couple of months later, here he is, standing as the grand champion of Wbel Season 2.
The worst is that at the beginning of the season, he tried to make her cost go down because it was like, oh, come on, did you saw her kit? She sucks right now. I was like, I'm going to be cautious, and I'll set it at that 100, and it was like, it was the right decision. I tried.
Well, I think that LB upgrade came in like mid-season, early season. It wasn't there when we were judging the units, so that was a huge boost for her. It's a really nice limit burst that she got. Yeah, very, congrats to Ram 9 once again. Like I said, it was hard to pick between these two. But it was great matches from them all year, and you can't really hang your head if you make it to the finals here. So definitely tip your hats here to Crash as well. He put on a show with his book team all year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I chatted with Crash, really, really nice guy to chat with, really friendly. It was really nice having him for the WBL Season 2. Yeah, of course, he really liked the season. I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed it, and congratulations to Ram 9. You're too good, man. It's not fair. You got all the talent.
Absolutely. If you make it to grand finals in this crazy stacked tournament with some of the best names that Wood has to offer, there's no shame at all in getting second. Those were fantastic fights. I was so glad to be one of the few that gets to see it early, so I get the pleasure of getting to shoutcast over it and witness all this before all you guys do. But no, it was super, super fun, especially getting to see not only just the strong teams that they have drafted, but getting to see the adjustments they made. That's always my favorite part in watching these best of threes and best of fives, is seeing the adjustments between fights from each side and the mind games going into it. Itoman pointed out in the second fight, seeing that one TMR get used with the strike res, so that knowing that Ram 9 had thought that the strike team would be chosen against him was, just fantastic to see, to be able to see the thoughts of these top players. From my point of view, thank you guys, for providing such, great entertainment and showcasing what it was all about, in my opinion. Had a ton of fun, and congrats to both of you guys for making it this far, and absolutely congrats to Ram 9 for being the champion of WBEL Season 2.
Wouldn't be surprised if he consults the stars with Ramada before he kind of decides what to go with. It kind of seems like he reads players' minds sometimes.
Yeah, the head games are a big part of it, especially in these head-to-head matches. And when you have a best of 5 and potential options that you have in your roster, and Ram, over the WDL seasons and now in the WBL, he's proven year after year to have what it takes to play those kind of games and get into the heads of his opponent. Kudos to him, and 100% the GOAT.
Congratulations to Crashmstr for making it this far.
Yes.
I believe this is also his first time participating in a tournament like this, correct?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations to Ram 9 for taking the win. winning it all.
You guys stay tuned. We're going to have interviews with both players. All right, it was really nice having you guys. Really a fantastic season. I had really a great pleasure shotcasting all the matches with you. Honestly, it ended up being so great. Thank you, GB, for proposing to do this with me. It was really an honor for me, and I really hope that we could do it again in the future.
Well, I want to thank you for including me and thanking me to be a shoutcaster in the league. I've enjoyed it. And I want to thank you for all the hard work and dedication you've put into running the league. Behind the scenes, week to week, putting the videos together, doing the shoutcasting, doing the organization, on top of playing in the league. I think that you were sort of the unsung hero of WBEL. And, we all appreciate all that hard work that you've been doing. Thank you for that.
I've had
Very
help.
true.
Yeah, I wanted to include the most player possible, so that's why I reached out to players at the beginning of the season to see who had the interest for editing and shotcasting. I will say I ended up doing much more than I thought I would do, so I wanted 4 division and a set of 2 shotcasters to relieve some of the duty. In the end, I ended up doing more than the last season, but in the end, it was worth it. I mean, if I did a list there of if I had to cut like the last 10 players that entered the tournament, if we didn't have you guys to help us, I mean, we wouldn't have seen Sushi, Deto, Highsart, Adol, Shadow Snatcher, Wicked and Sausage, Kelsey, Logi, Rendell, Teo. And if we were to stick with 20 players, then we wouldn't have seen Jesus, Wbel, Maverick, Orange, Sen Rooster, Surf Taco, LXD92, Greatest Nest, Dervis, and even you, GB. Oh, and Itomanpr. So yeah, a couple of super great names that we all enjoyed seeing. Yeah, it was worth it, and I hope that we could do this in the future if there's enough player remaining playing the game.
Definitely give yourself a good break here, though.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to get too burnt out on this stuff. I know firsthand, the work involved and
yeah, I have to focus on my musical projects, but I still want to do some quick tournaments in the future. I want to bring back to life Friday Night Fights, so I'll try doing this. I'm not sure about the exact formula, because last time I did a live stream, it went pretty badly. So yeah, I'm not sure about all the setup, but I will try things. For those who have submitted their answers for the survey for the next season, you probably saw one intriguing format. That's another one that I want to try maybe later on. It'd be really different, but yeah, if we could do it, I will be really intrigued myself. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, so any last words, you guys, before we end up the video?
I said this at the end of the 3rd place match. What you did here is truly remarkable. Players that you've brought together, the community, just the spirit of the competition that you've brought to life here. Nothing short of remarkable. Giving me particularly the chance to do something like this, where I had no sort of online presence before this. It was really something completely left field for me. I really did enjoy it. I'm very grateful to you for the opportunity and for trusting me that I could handle some of the responsibility in your baby.
I mean, I'm stealing the works of others, so I need the community to do this. So yeah, thank you everyone to have participated, all the players. I love you all, guys. You were all super respectful, following the rules. I really didn't have any issue with anyone. Thank you for all the support, and you showed in great number with great interest. And everyone that's watching, the viewers, if you like the video, please like and share with the others in the community. I think that currently the game is pretty bland, but I'm currently subscribed in GB's one, and I have a blast even though I'm losing. It's a really nice format with only all the units are depreciated, so thank you, GB, for continuing doing tournaments for the community. You're also already a great pillar with your podcast that I listen every single week. Really thank you again.
Another highlight of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, despite all of its problems and you know the complaints that I have, I still do, at its core, love this game, and I still do want it to see it succeed and still be fun for people. So I try to do my part in promoting that.
Thank you also, Will, if you're watching. Same thing for you. All right, thank you everyone again, and I really hope that you appreciate the video.
See you soon.
See you next time.
All right, everyone, we're here with the grand champion of WBEL Season 2. That is Rem9 over here. So hi, man.
How you guys doing? Hey, numero.
I'm fine. I'm pretty relieved. I'll have more free time in the upcoming weeks.
I bet.
Maybe he finally learns what sleep is.
I know. I mean, I have to admit, you know, the production on the back end, I can only imagine just how time consuming it is. But we sure as hell appreciate it. And I know many of us involved have got some serious entertainment value. So all of your hard work is not unnoticed, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. For my first question, now that you've won the whole thing, what did you think of the comment of Machen calling you and Surf Taco noobs? When
Well, you know, I mean, Machen and I, we have a bit of back and forth. He's actually a really good friend. You know, I take it with a grain of salt because you know, I've learned a lot off of him. So he's got the authority to basically say whatever he wants.
Yes, of course. All right, for the real questions, what was your preparation for game number 1 against Crash?
So game number 1, I basically hard gambled. I've spoken to Crash about this, and I figured, you know, I watched a few of his matches in the quarterfinals, semifinals. I figured he's gonna go with the mage team. I thought, let me just go all out to try and counter that. If he went like with Sephiroth or anything physical, I was pretty screwed, to be honest. And I think once I got that first game under my belt, the pressure was kind of on him. And I just, you know, I made a few gambles, I made a few reads, and thankfully it paid off.
Yeah, did pretty well. Game number 2, what was your level of confidence when 2P rushed in the middle of your group and was killing everyone with follow-ups?
Oh, zero. Like, especially, I thought, the thing is, she scared the hell out of me. So I had a decent amount of accuracy built, but when she just starts going crazy and just taking out your whole squad, because she dives in and just starts shooting out, you know, kicks and punches everywhere. And the thing is, I think I had a chance to hit her, and then she got like a early reflex, so she still had her barrier. So I was like, okay, let's just put this one in the books and regroup. It's probably 1-1. But, you know, the irony is, A2 for me, she's got like a terrible record. Like every time I've used her, I actually lose. But she definitely came in clutch in the final, and she pulled a rabbit out of her hat, which we've seen her do so many times.
I think I just ask another one before letting Itoman throw a couple. You've participated in both seasons of WBEL, and what does this league means to you? I mean, you're also like Itomanpr, a manual player. So what was the appeal? What does this league means to you?
Wow. It's just, you know what? It's first and foremost, it's just fun. I'm sure, you know, everyone involved would back me up in that and vouch the same thing. It's just, you know, a nice change of pace, especially now, you know, with, you know, everything in the game and kind of power creeps getting a bit crazy. It's just nice to, you know, scale it back a bit, play with some units that you enjoy playing and perhaps, you know, you don't get to use anymore. And yeah, you just kind of express yourself, have some fun, you know, you win some, you lose some. And I think that's the main selling point for me. You know, you get to put the spotlight on some units, you know, we don't get to see anymore. And certain, I think every participant has, you know, their sort of fan favorite or their iconic characters that they use. And it's nice seeing them play out in real time, you know.
Yeah, you get to pick the only water Veritas.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of surprised, but I thought, because, you know, I think by the time the rosters were sort of being decided and the deadline, she was like nowhere near kind of on anyone's radar. because she just come out in the game and it takes quite a few weeks to build her up. But I thought, at that time I was kind of going hard in arena. I thought, she'll be ready by maybe week 3 or I can't remember. But I was surprised no one else grabbed her, and she definitely was a trump card for me.
Yeah, because everyone around were picking like A2, 2P, and you went for like Water Veritas. I think it serves you pretty well in the end because you were able to use at least 3 main team, which was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite units for some reason, Tunak. You just always have to factor him in. Even though he's okay, he's not that great. But if you don't prepare for him, he'd tear you up. And it's nice using like Tidus and I mean one of my my favorite Kilfei. She's a powerhouse still in the right circumstances. So yeah, it's nice having a variety of units that your opponent has to worry about.
So word on the streets of Discord is that you're a big fan of the cold triangle, a fact that becomes apparent just by glancing at your roster.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you consult the stars with Ramada to kind of predict the teams that your opponent will play against you? Because the head games start long before the actual match begins, and you certainly seem to excel at that.
This is what I actually love, like a best of 3, because it's definitely you go into like the mental side of things. And funny enough, Crash and I'm not sure if he told you, we played our series in like 20 minutes or half an hour. We both kind of just go with our gut. We had we did all the preparation beforehand, and we just make small tweaks and adapts. I kind of put myself in my opponent's position. I think, okay, what would I do? But then there's always the whole, that I know, that we know. So it is, yes. And, you try to make educated guesses, and then you try to cover as many bases as you can. Sometimes you get it wrong, but fortunately, I managed to get it right more often than not in this run. And yeah, it paid off.
It certainly did. And pretty impressive to hear you did your matches in 20 minutes. The 5 matches, right? The 5 matches that you submitted to Numero.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to give anything away, but yeah, I think that plays into my not my strength, but I sort of mind map how things play out. I think, okay, if he does this, I need to make these adjustments. And I do these things sort of just in my head on the fly. So when I make my teams, it usually only takes me a few, especially now with like the trust zone changes and stuff, it takes me a few minutes to set things up. Funny enough, I thought the final map I misread the map. I thought it was Forest 3 again, and I didn't realize it was Fortress 3. So when we got in the room for the first game, I was like, Crash, bro, what are you doing? You got the wrong map. He was like, what are you talking about? And he sent me the screenshot, and I was like, oh my god.
And Crash did the same for round 4.
Yeah. He said the same thing to me as well. So, but fortunately, like I said, once you know what your units are gonna do, the map, apart from maybe a few heights and stuff, it didn't make too much of a difference.
How did you like to see that both all were in the grand final?
Yeah, I mean, I think we crushed it. On a whole, because it was nice playing Crash, because it was kind of like either way you win. If I lost, then I'm losing to my good friend, who's a great player, by the way. So it was nice to face off against a fellow guildie.
Yeah, this was really a big marathon. I mean, the season was 9 games, and then you have 5 weeks of playoffs, and the last one is a best of 5. For sure, deserved it. You deserve the honors, and you deserve all the praise that's going to be directed to you in the following weeks.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Obviously you can't win it without a little bit of luck. I thought I played quite well. It was definitely a slog. I think anyone getting to sort of like semis and finals, they definitely deserve it.
So going back to the stars, At a time
Yeah.
when it could be said that WOTF players' morale is somewhat low, what is your North Star in keeping yourself coming back to WOTF?
I mean, it's a very current topic. And, I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt the kind of strain that I'm sure all of us are feeling, in this new generation of power creep. But at the end of the day, I've always played a certain way. I have a certain budget, should we say, that we put into the game. I never stray out of that. I think I just always try and use the units I enjoy, find a community that, you can, even though times may be trying at the moment, you still band together, you still find fun and creative ways to engage with the game. And, hopefully we can ride it out. Some other game modes may be coming down the line, the 5-man guild thing, and maybe some other community stuff going on. JB always runs his things in the background. So yeah, hopefully, you just focus on the positives, and I never delve too deep into it. If things are slow in game, I've got a few other things outside to distract me. If it's at the moment, I'm playing The Witcher 3 actually, which is crazy. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, for the players that don't know you as well as me, it's what I like particularly about you is that you're such a positive person. You've always looked at the positive of everything. You bring a lot of joy and a sentiment of community to the game. Thank you for that. It's really appreciated and noticed.
No, I appreciate that. I just preach it, but it's people like yourselves that actually do the hard work, and you've given us 2 seasons of Wbel and all the other content creators we have had that make it all possible. So it's actually you guys that deserve the credit, and it's just a pleasure, that I get the invite and I get to participate, because at the end of the day, that's just the fun.
It's our honor to receive you. You have this talent to have such an impact and win some crucial games with sometimes underrated roster. You make magic out of everything. It's incredible to see you play. It's really nice to see your games, and this is why you're also a fan favorite for the players.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say, but listen, I'm not better than any one of you guys, just use the units that I enjoy and try and make a read in a match, and just we all have pretty much the same tools, especially in these restricted tournament formats where creativity is one of the key things that WBEL really focuses on, which is nice.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of putting together something that you think can cover all bases. Nobody can cover everything, so you got to hope you get a nice draw. There's loads of factors that go into it, so I'm just lucky to be on the winning side this time.
And he's also modest. Do you have
Very.
have any last word before we end up this interview?
Yeah, just a massive thank you to you guys. Obviously Chisei as well. JB, I know he's obviously shoutcasted his division and guested on a few others. Machen, all the guest casters have done like a really, really fantastic job. It's really tough. You guys make it look so easy, but I've tried it once and it is really tough, especially to do it in like one take. So massive shout out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So
You
yeah.
already did this once for WDL.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, which was really fun. But that's when I got a taste, and I was like, holy hell, K-Sun does this like every week, and you guys do this every week. So it's a massive thank you for obviously organising the league, putting it together, bringing us all together, especially at times like this when it really helps with morale and gives everyone something else to focus on. So it's really a big thank you to you guys. I hope you know that we as a community appreciate you.
Thank you. That's really appreciated.
Big thank you to Numero for rounding up all these shoutcasters, and I very much enjoyed the experience, the opportunity to interact with a lot of different players, and I learned a whole lot throughout WBEL second season. I feel I share that sentiment as Ram9 stated. Thank you Ram9 and thank you Numero and everyone else that was involved in making this season the great season it was.
I mean, I didn't have experience too. I only did it because I knew that there will be a void that's going to be left after the season 3 of WDL. So yeah, I really appreciated this season. I like to do it with you guys. It was really super cool and everyone loved you a lot. I made a poll, and if you guys and any that's watching right now are interested in future season, you can always write to me, and if we ended up doing a third season, we'll see if it could work. But yes, it's a lot of work though. Thank you, Ram9. Super appreciated, and I hope that we're going to see you in season 3 if there's one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Thank you again. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, and
Bye-bye.
congrats on the crown.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
You too. All right, everyone, and welcome back. We're now with Crashmstr, our finalist. Unfortunately for you, you reached the second place. But man, after this marathon, you deserve all the glory that comes with it. Hi, Crash.
Hello. Yes, I appreciate that. It was a lot, but it was very enjoyable.
Also, it was against no one else than Ram9.
Yes. No. As a fellow guild member, I know him quite well. He is a force to be reckoned with. So.
Learned it firsthand.
Oh yes.
Had you sparred with Ram9 like that before?
We've done a couple of matches, I believe, in the past, but nothing too much now.
As my first question, what was your preparation for Game 1? Because we had our interview beforehand with Ram9, and he said that the whole guild helped him. So Ready Player Will, GB79, Highwind, Lynx. What?
I see. I didn't get any help from the guild. Oh wow. Okay.
No. It was a joke. He didn't say that.
Clearly, someone playing favorites.
I think he has seniority over me saying it. No, JB helped me with previous matches, but I did not mock with anybody there.
No, of course, it was a joke. Seeing Ram9's matchup, what was your thought process like? Why did you bring the book team game number 1?
So the book team, I think, pretty obvious, has been my strongest team this season. So I think I just wanted to start out strong. I should have expected he would have brought the counter for that game 1, so I kind of just went with my strongest team to test the waters. He definitely brought the magic resistance, though.
Yeah, but game number 1 was pretty tough, and
Yes.
game number 2, I mean, we asked Ram9 what was his confidence in mid-game when your 2P entered the fray in the middle of the pack on his side, killing everyone with follow-ups.
Yes. Oh, I was very upset when I saw Galzak do the TMR, because I turned it off, but I didn't save that setting. And so he just stayed in the back and did his TMR twice.
Yeah.
I was so upset, because he might have been able to get an attack off and actually kill A2 at the end. So, but yeah, I was upset at myself for that one, but it was very close.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling too confident for the win in the second fight, but at the very end, after the re-raise, it was super true.
Yeah. If he had that TMR off, I think he would have gone for Dream Inducer, which might have been able to kill her if he had the casting time. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I guess that thinking that, okay, I was one Galzak away from winning the fight, so I guess this is why you didn't bring Sephiroth for the third fight?
Yeah, honestly, with my Sephiroth team, it's the double quicken team, and I didn't really feel confident in that because I didn't get the chance to mock that out, because I'm very, quicken is very finicky, and I didn't get the chance to tune that how I wanted to beforehand, so I wasn't confident in that. It probably would have been better.
What would you consider the most challenging aspect of your preparation for WBEL in any phase, be it when you were drafting your roster or maybe prepping for a specific opponent, setting up teams?
I would say probably just doing the thorough think through of all of the teams of like, okay, how can I set this up to be most effective? Kind of like the fine tuning for each fight, like what TMR so I want to bring, what trust stones, because specifically like with my book team, they're all high fate, so I need to be like, okay, what status effects can they bring that could screw me over? So like, I'll bring my Berserk in case they bring Vega TMR, stuff like that, kind of making sure I have all my bases covered.
I mean, it was your first tournament of that kind, I think?
First auto tournament, yes. I've been in JB's manual one before, but yeah.
So for you, it's easy. I mean, first time and already second place.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm a very specific person. I always like to think about the very small details, so I think that helps me a lot.
I just kind of wanted to ask, did you expect the book team that you built to have the success it did? You know, 'cause
honestly,
so good.
it was my third team that I made. Sephiroth was my first team. I was like, oh, I want to bring 2P. I think she's great at this value. I was like, I love Halloween Lucia. And, she works with Velis, but I have to bring Yasholta. I do not have any faith in her, but I want to play this team, and it surprised me a lot. Yeah.
Surprised me too.
Yeah.
It was so good, so good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know Halloween Lucia has that really good barrier and the crazy AoE resistance, but yeah, she puts out a lot of damage.
Actually, a follow-up question on that is since Ram 9 was able to, have the counter for the book team in the first match, was there ever a thought in your mind going into the second match that maybe you could put in some tweaks and run that team back, or did you just think, no, I gotta try something different for that second match?
I did think about it, and I did also expect him to switch teams. So I did think about, like, oh, what if I just run it back with some tweaks? I also did think about bringing it back in the third game, but I kind of just settled with it. I was also very scared to fight the Water Fairy Toss, because I think she could just blow Lucia up with that magic damage, so I was kind of hesitant there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Like the second game was so close in your favor that I think you made a good call there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, how did you like the whole journey, the format for the league? How did it went? Like, how did you feel at the beginning and at the end?
I mean, I had a great time all the way through. Like, I love making teams and kind of, like, figuring out how to, like, not game the system, but, like, get the most out of, like, those points. And so I love the formation of the teams and getting to, like, know the, like, community and players when playing these tournaments, because, like, I'm still kind of new with all this. Has been a really, really enjoyable experience.
Were you ever scared for your position in the guild when you were facing JB? Some sort of repercussion?
No, I was not. No, he's JB. You know him well. He's always been a great guy. Yeah,
he's a great person.
Yes.
I know he wouldn't do that.
Yes, I think he was a little salty at my Lucia, but he did complain about her afterwards.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, good. Do you have any final words for the people that are listening right now?
I mean, hey, my first auto tournament did this well. I think anybody can get into it if you just put a little bit of time into it. And also, thank you guys for putting in all the work and setting this up. It's a lot to run. Not to even to mention making all the videos. So thank you for building up this community.
Thank you for joining. I mean, you guys make this wonderful content, so all we do here is having fun.
We can't make this happen without all these players that decide to throw their hat into the ring.
Yeah, thank you again for joining Crash and for this interview. It was really nice knowing to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was a great time.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
And congrats again.
Yes,
Yeah, congrats. I didn't say that enough. Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
40 hearts aligned in play for the tourney of the might. The Blind Enthusiast League is here, with friends and foes so near. An epic journey to the top, never resting, never stop. Wbel calls our name, you get up for the grand game. It's the place to be right now, cheers and shouts we scream out loud. Numero 80 leads the way, Chisei's voice will guide the play. Heroes brawl for all to see, champions rise from their exploits and rule. In the spotlight they belong, Wbel stands strong. They aren't blind, they're enthusiasts, and not all clairvoyant, but they are all charming in their own way. Heroes brawl for all to see, champions rise from their exploits and rule. In the spotlight they belong, Wbel stands strong. anywhere.